I construe.
I am construing.
I have construed.
I have been construing since morning.
I construed.
I was construing.
I had construed.
I had been construing since morning.
I shall construe.
I shall be construing.
I shall have construed.
I shall have been construing 2 days.
I consult.
I am consulting.
I have consulted.
I have been consulting for 2 days.
I consulted.
I was consulting.
I had consulted.
I had been consulting for 2 days.
I shall consult.
I shall be consulting.
I shall have consulted.
I shall have been consulting since morning.
I contain.
I am containing.
I have contained.
I have been containing since morning.
I contained.
I was containing.
I had contained.
I had been containing since morning.
I shall contain.
I shall be containing.
I shall have contained.
I shall have been containing 2 days.
I contemn.
I am contemning.
I have contemned.
I have been contemning for 2 days.
I contemned.
I was contemning.
I had contemned.
I had been contemning for 2 days.
I shall contemn.
I shall be contemning.
I shall have contemned.
I shall have been contemning since morning.
I contend.
I am contending.
I have contended.
I have been contending since morning.
I contended.
I was contending.
I had contended.
I had been contending since morning.
I shall contend.
I shall be contending.
I shall have contended.
I shall have been contending 2 days.
I contest.
I am contesting.
I have contested.
I have been contesting for 2 days.
I contested.
I was contesting.
I had contested.
I had been contesting for 2 days.
I shall contest.
I shall be contesting.
I shall have contested.
I shall have been contesting since morning.
I continue.
I am continuing.
I have continued.
I have been continuing since morning.
I continued.
I was continuing.
I had continued.
I had been continuing since morning.
I shall continue.
I shall be continuing.
I shall have continued.
I shall have been continuing 2 days.
I contract.
I am contracting.
I have contracted.
I have been contracting for 2 days.
I contracted.
I was contracting.
I had contracted.
I had been contracting for 2 days.
I shall contract.
I shall be contracting.
I shall have contracted.
I shall have been contracting since morning.
I contradict.
I am contradicting.
I have contradicted.
I have been contradicting since morning.
I contradicted.
I was contradicting.
I had contradicted.
I had been contradicting since morning.
I shall contradict.
I shall be contradicting.
I shall have contradicted.
I shall have been contradicting 2 days.
I contrast.
I am contrasting.
I have contrasted.
I have been contrasting for 2 days.
I contrasted.
I was contrasting.
I had contrasted.
I had been contrasting for 2 days.
I shall contrast.
I shall be contrasting.
I shall have contrasted.
I shall have been contrasting since morning.
I contribute.
I am contributing.
I have contributed.
I have been contributing since morning.
I contributed.
I was contributing.
I had contributed.
I had been contributing since morning.
I shall contribute.
I shall be contributing.
I shall have contributed.
I shall have been contributing 2 days.
I contrive.
I am contriving.
I have contrived.
I have been contriving for 2 days.
I contrived.
I was contriving.
I had contrived.
I had been contriving for 2 days.
I shall contrive.
I shall be contriving.
I shall have contrived.
I shall have been contriving since morning.
I control.
I am controlling.
I have controlled.
I have been controlling since morning.
I controlled.
I was controlling.
I had controlled.
I had been controlling since morning.
I shall control.
I shall be controlling.
I shall have controlled.
I shall have been controlling 2 days.
I convene.
I am convening.
I have convened.
I have been convening for 2 days.
I convened.
I was convening.
I had convened.
I had been convening for 2 days.
I shall convene.
I shall be convening.
I shall have convened.
I shall have been convening since morning.
I converge.
I am converging.
I have converged.
I have been converging since morning.
I converged.
I was converging.
I had converged.
I had been converging since morning.
I shall converge.
I shall be converging.
I shall have converged.
I shall have been converging 2 days.
I converse.
I am conversing.
I have conversed.
I have been conversing for 2 days.
I conversed.
I was conversing.
I had conversed.
I had been conversing for 2 days.
I shall converse.
I shall be conversing.
I shall have conversed.
I shall have been conversing since morning.
I convert.
I am converting.
I have converted.
I have been converting since morning.
I converted.
I was converting.
I had converted.
I had been converting since morning.
I shall convert.
I shall be converting.
I shall have converted.
I shall have been converting 2 days.
I convey.
I am conveying.
I have conveyed.
I have been conveying for 2 days.
I conveyed.
I was conveying.
I had conveyed.
I had been conveying for 2 days.
I shall convey.
I shall be conveying.
I shall have conveyed.
I shall have been conveying since morning.
I convict.
I am convicting.
I have convicted.
I have been convicting since morning.
I convicted.
I was convicting.
I had convicted.
I had been convicting since morning.
I shall convict.
I shall be convicting.
I shall have convicted.
I shall have been convicting 2 days.
I convince.
I am convincing.
I have convinced.
I have been convincing for 2 days.
I convinced.
I was convincing.
I had convinced.
I had been convincing for 2 days.
I shall convince.
I shall be convincing.
I shall have convinced.
I shall have been convincing since morning.